So for this tutorial, we are going to go into some more advanced techniques for creating your sketches and adding details to your wheel. So what primarily we're going to do is create these cutouts, as you can see in the wheel, on the side of the wheel. That way our wheel, it can be more material efficient. So as you can see here, I've already sort of created a sketch on the side, on the flat side of the cylinder. One thing to note is that this is a quirk to Inventor actually, but almost every 3D action in Inventor is based on a 2D sketch, so watch out for that. And when you're making 2D sketches, you can only create them on flat surfaces. So you can see I cannot place one on the curved side of the cylinder. To do that, you will have to use the plane tool. You will use one of these options, tangent plane to surface, but I'll not get into that. That's a little too advanced for this tutorial right now. So as you can see here, we have this little handy pop-out on the left side. We can select anything we want to change or edit. In this case, I want to go back to my original sketch, so I would right-click on it, click Edit Sketch, and that brings me to the sketching page. So to create these circular details, we're going to use the arc tool, which is designed to draw circular arcs. And there's different types of subtypes of arc tool, and they allow you to define the arc in different ways. For this tutorial, we're going to use the center point tool. So right now, how the arc tool works is you select a center point, you drag it out, you select a start point, and you select the end point of the arc, and it draws you an arc. Very straightforward. Here I'm going to show you guys a quick shortcut to dimensioning very quickly. Okay, so you'll see that when I drag something out, you have this text box that is highlighted. You can actually directly type into it. For example, if I wanted it to be 40, it will just become 40. And if I want to edit the degrees text box at the bottom, I'll just press tab, and in this case I want 45 degrees. And if I press enter, such a curve is created. Okay? Or alternatively, I can just press 40, press enter, lift it up, and then do 45, like this. Both work, but you will notice that there is purple lines on here, and it says one dimension is needed to constrain it, and that is because we have not defined the angular orientation of our sort of arc. For that, we're going to use the this tool to constrain it. So this tool is going to constrain things according to the purple line that it shows. This one makes it vertical. This one is what one we want, which would make it horizontal. Alright, next we are going to show you guys a sort of we're going to create the sort of hole in the middle. So we're just going to select the circle tool, click on the center point again. The diameter is going to be 10 millimeters, so type that in, press enter. And now we're going to show you guys how to use the construction line tool. So the construction line tool is sort of a button you can enable, and it causes any of the shapes you draw to be construction lines. It's very useful because sometimes we don't want everything to end up being part of the final sketch, but we still need elements to help us. We need graphical elements to help us draw the correct geometries, and that's where construction lines come in handy. So for example, I'm going to create a construction line circle of 20 millimeter diameter, and with that I'm going to use the arc tool, click just here, here, and here. Oh, I made a rookie mistake here. I actually forgot to disable the construction line tool, so remember, do that. Click here, here, and here, and that way we have defined, see, this arc in terms of this larger arc with the help of the construction line circle. So if you look and I change the size or the angle of the larger curve, it's going to change the smaller curve too. In Inventor, you're going to try, and in any CADing software, you're going to have to try your best to make the elements of your sketches depend on the dimension of other parts as much as possible. That way, when you try to change a certain dimension, everything else will scale properly, and you don't have to change, 10,000 dimensions, and things won't go haywire and break apart. Okay, it's just good practice in Inventor, honestly. And now we are going to use the line tool to connect the ends of the arcs. Now we can already see sort of our little cutout. Oh, why is that line purple? I clicked wrong. So try not to click wrong. Try to click on the dot. There we go. Okay, now we have the sort of main cutout of the cutout that we want to make. So that's great, but how can we, create 5 of these? Now, one option is to, do the same thing we already did, but 5 times more. But that goes against our philosophy of reducing the amount of dimension needed as much as possible. So we're going to make use of the circular pattern tool. If you ever have something that you want to repeat a lot of times, look over here in the pattern column. And these are all very helpful tools that's going to be able to save you a lot of work. So what the circular pattern tool does is it first allows you to select a geometry. So just any line or something like that. You select it, or multiple, and then you select an axis to rotate around, and then here you can enter in the amount of times you want it to be repeated. Very straightforward. So let's use that to repeat our pattern 5 more times. So I click the tool, I click here, but now I notice that when I try to select the solid line, it automatically selects the dotted line because that line was placed there first, which is very annoying. Now you can get around this by just double clicking, because that way you select the dotted line first, and then when you click again, it knows that you want to select the line underneath. You can do that, but you will notice that we'll end up with lots of dotted lines everywhere, and it becomes a big mess in our sketch. So this is the little trick that many seasoned Inventor users don't know, and this is like the exclusive trick off my sleeve that I'm going to show you in this tutorial. So when you have objects or graphical elements that are on top of one another, you can either right click on the line and press select other, and you get this drop down, and this will allow you to select the element that you want. So in this case, option 2 is the solid line that I want, and if I select that, it's going to select the solid line I want. Or you can just hover over it for a long time, and this pop-up would appear as well. But personally, I prefer to right click first, because I don't have to wait on the pop-up to pop up, because I'm very impatient. And then, okay, we're going to select the central axis, perfect, and we're going to type in 5. Alright. And that's about it. You've accomplished, we've created the sketch that we wanted. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful to you. Stay tuned for the next one.